going on, everybody? This is Steve over here at the Pro Shop, and we are going to do a bow build today for the Phase 4 29 for my guy David Weaver. Let's get to it. So to get started, I'm going to throw this rest on. This is the integrate rest from QAD. Love how sleek this looks on this build. So we're going to get that put on. We're going to get the arrow squared up, and so that way we can tie a D-loop, and so David can sort of get his peep adjustment the way he likes it, what feels comfortable to him. So let's get started. Essentially, they already have a spacer put in here for center shot as far as like bringing out to the left of the riser more.
Yep.
Then there's a little arrow that you line up here, and it's just a good, I don't know, good place to start. You know what I mean? It's not the end all be all, but it's a good place to start. Kind of a little tip I got from Chris B. When you put your felt on, everybody knows that this stuff does not like to stay on for a period of time. But as you put it on, you center it up, you put it on there. So we'll just do a little bit for the camera here, but you actually hit it with a lighter. What that does is, that heat actually, I feel like, really sets that adhesive on there, and it, for whatever reason, it just makes that thing super sticky. I mean, I haven't had one of these fall off in a long time after doing it this way, but it's a really cool tip that I got from Chris B, so shout out to Chris here. Ooh, this was really dang close. Make sure that I'm not wrenching down that D-loop. I try the best I can to square that center of the peep side up with the center of the D-loop, making sure that this is in the center of the peep before I pull down on it, pull down hard on that D-loop. I just feel like I just don't get as much twist, and I feel like it pulls back and draws a little bit nicer to the eye doing it that way. So one thing I like to do during a build, it takes a little extra time, but it's worth it in the end, is to check the center serving to make sure there's not a whole lot of tightness going on there. You really want to be able to put your knock on and have that swivel around the string without getting stuck. Now to David's bow, now that we essentially have that bullet hole rocket for him, we're going to tie in his knocking points. Knocking points are a must for me when I'm building bows. Really, one thing it does is, well, when you're shooting your bow at full draw, and that string's coming and closing down, if it's too tight, you see it all the time, if your D-loop is too tight, it's going to pinch that knock, and it's actually going to have the arrow float off the rest. It's a no-go. So we tie these knocking points in there because it creates a buffer that at full draw, the arrow still fits in there nicely. Really, there should be just a smidge of a wiggle between each of your knocking points with that arrow. So if you, again, find some inaccuracy stuff going on with your rig, check your knocking points, check your D-loop, make sure things aren't too tight. So it's a good place to start. So depending on the length of the bow too, like axle length, you know, the peep height is essentially going to be, for Mathew's bows for whatever reason, usually around this kick out of the riser here. I'm not sure why it sets like that, but sometimes, and I'm not sure if I'm making this up, but a lot of times, more times than not, it's within probably a half inch or inch of the person's draw length when I go to set them up. So just a huge tip that I'd throw out there to anybody looking for more accuracy is, and we can all benefit from more accuracy, right? Is making sure that second axis is level. A lot of times people are shooting really good, shots breaking, but they're wondering why that shot's hitting a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. Chances are that second axis was never leveled or leveled correctly. Really good thing that Redline does, shout out to Redline, is that a lot of the sites I've been seeing have been coming with that second axis already dialed up, man. So big shout out to Redline there. Get your second axis leveled, you will find a huge difference in your shot. We just checked the timing on David's, on his Phase 4 here, it's 29 here. It was rock on. I will say though, that it is important just because it's, I mean, these timing holes do get you close, but I have seen on a few occasions where it's not actually always perfect. So still, regardless, if it looks like it's in the dead center of those timing holes, it's a good place to start, but definitely still get it checked if you like to tinker at home or buy a Pro Shop. So we got David's torch on here, awesome site, new site from Redline. One thing that I recommend anybody doing is, a lot of times you go ahead, you go to the Pro Shop and you jar your bow back, trying to check your peep, and it's dialed all the way up to 20 yards. I know David, I know likes to shoot distance, and so I recommend half the distance that your max distance is, starting there. So essentially, David's probably want to shoot 100 yards. So when we look at fitting this peep to him, I'm going to bury that sight down to about 50, 60 yards, and because your anchor point does change, it does feel a little bit different on your face, and so you want to split the difference from 20 to 100 yards and almost go right at 50, essentially. So usually about 8 feet is what I'm shooting at. Now, there's a lot of variations. Obviously, we're doing this with the shaft for fletchings, but a lot of times I like to start with a bare shaft and go from there. But just a nice smooth shaft. And really don't worry about the peep a whole lot. Just go on a clean break. A little bit lefty. Right. Point left, lock right. Tough stuff, David. Was it me? Yeah. Yeah, so paper tuning obviously tells you a whole lot. One thing is about your grip and how you're breaking, how that shot's breaking. But two, essentially, we're really just trying to make sure the plane of the air, so the tip and that knock are flying at the same plane through paper. I mean, it's going to change the distance and such, but so yeah, so with your grip, I really want to come in making sure that most of that grip is on this part again, which looks like it is. Something like that. Yeah, kind of like that, coming in. Almost like a little bit of up pressure, not like really high resting it, but a little up pressure. Okay. And then I'm just curling my finger down the backside. That's where it sets. So if you look here, it's all on the thumb. Yep. Let's try that one. It's really, really, really important for broadhead tuning. When you're going to make sure you have a really good foundational grip. We want to make sure that bow is shooting bolt holes for you. But within that, right, and so a lot of people will start jacking with that rest to kind of perfect that bolt hole. Not all bolt holes are made the same. Just say that. Yeah, and I mean just something to work on too. But you're shooting good. So heck yeah, man. Congrats. Yeah, absolutely. So we just finished up David's build here. Just to kind of give you what to expect when you come in to get a bow from us here at the Outdoor Insiders. So it's a full service pro shop, start to finish custom builds. I think it's super essential that the bow fits you properly before you leave the door. We're going to go through the entire thing, even checking your center serve and making sure that's not too tight. So the timing of your bow, making sure that that bow is properly tuned before it leaves our store, because it's our reputation as well that we want to keep in mind, but more importantly, it's you having a good experience. You're both firing flawlessly at that buck or that elk of a lifetime. We want you to have that. We want you to share that with you, share that with the store here. So super excited for this year. It's our first full year of business. It's wrapping up on our 1 year anniversary. So I appreciate all the support. Any questions you want to call and talk, just call, about archery or upcoming elk hunt or something like that. Feel free to give us a shout here. So again, thank you so much for your support. It means the world.